Hey guys, it's Irritable Life here, and I am coming to you with another Positivity Tuesday. This time a little bit earlier than usual. Usually I do it at night, but I figured let's get started on Tuesday. I think I'm going to need as much positivity as possible today, so I wanted to share that with you guys as well. So I'm going to translate, but this one's really good. I every time I take these, there's always one that pops out really quickly at me, and it's just one that I can really identify with at that moment, at that day, at that month, whatever. So this one was really, really good. All right, let me read it and I will translate. Nunca te rindas e intentar estar siempre motivado. Y si te bloqueas, que no te asuste tomarte un pequeño descanso para volver a coger fuerzas. So, nunca te rindas is never give up. E intentar estar siempre motivado is basically never give up attempting to stay motivated. And if you get blocked, sometimes we get blocked, sometimes obstacles happen in life. Don't get scared don't get scared that you have to take a little bit of a rest, that you have to rest for a second or a day or a week even. Sometimes the rest is what you need in order to get your strength back up again, get it together or gather what you need in order to keep fighting, keep going. So that's perfect because I've been having that. Everyone has their problems, everyone has something going on. And sometimes in Spanish, my mom always told me that. Now I always tell her that, no sales de una para caer en otra, which is basically you don't finish one problem and here comes another one. It doesn't matter what the problem is. It could be financial, it could be physical. Let's say you're getting over the flu and you break your leg, or let's say you just finish paying your student loan and you get hit with a bunch of doctor's bills, so it's life. Life has those curveballs, and damn it, man, that sucks sometimes, but doing these motivations, doing the accountability videos that I was doing for DDP, it was in and of itself was motivating. And I've always been scared as far as motivation for that in particular. I've always been scared of losing the motivation. And I'm so glad that I happened to come across this because it was a good reminder. Because I had been doing my DDP after the contest was over, but I had dropped down to 2 and then to 1. And to me, I mentioned this before. I feel it. I feel when I drop out, due to stress, IBS, work. So, it kind of sends not only my body into a downward spiral, which it's kind of already on, but it just pulls me further down. It also, screws with my mind. I don't get that happy high that you normally get when you're done with your workout or even during your workout, which is normally how I feel, especially when I have a non-scale victory, which is something that we say NSV, when it has nothing to do with stepping on the scale. It has to do with how far you've come along. For example, I was never able to do a push-up. So for me, that was a big deal. And if I backtrack, if I get an injury or if I lose motivation, I'm not doing those things anymore. And that scared the hell out of me recently in these past few weeks, because I know what it's like, and it's a bad place, because the less I did it, the less motivated I felt, and the more I let everything consume me. Pain, IBS, depression, everything just consumed me to the point where you kind of, you're in that water kicking. And, when you're kicking to stay afloat, but then, when you do let all that stuff consume you, you just feel like letting go and just letting the ocean be your eternal resting place, so to speak. And it's morbid. I get it. I know that. It's kind of quoting a poem that I did years ago. And this was when I wasn't in this state of mind. I was actually a very happy person, but I listened to music so that I could dig into that frame of mind, so I could write poems. I used to write poems back in the day, like in the early 2000s. And the funny thing is, I didn't feel those words that I put on paper, but when I read them back now, I do feel them. I don't want to get emotional over it because I'm trying to move past those feelings, but it's hard to lose your motivation. So I'm trying to give myself a little bit of a break, and this was a perfect reminder to do that because I know what I'm capable of now. You know, doing this DDP yoga challenge that I did, I've come so far, and I know that taking a little bit of a rest is okay, but I have to push myself, and I know that I can, you know, because I've done it before where I'm super exhausted. I'm like, all right, I'll drink this protein shake and let me get going. Let's get back on that horse. And getting back on the horse is a lot easier than it ever was, but that's because I hang on to the fact that I need to do this. I hang on to the why I need to do this and the goal that I've set for myself. It's you know, a ways away, but it's there. And like another quote that I saw, you're never too old to start a new dream, you know, or to dream anything. You know, look at DDP. I'm trying to read his book again, and you know, he became a wrestler at 35 when everybody laughed at him and they said it couldn't be done, and he did it. He did it, and look where he is now. You know, he accomplished his dream at an age where he mentions where a lot of them were retiring, you know. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm not sure where life is going to lead me. You know, the motivation that I had for a lot of other things has all but died out. So I'm trying to reignite that flame. And this is a start. You know, these motivational videos are a big deal because not only is it helping me, I'm hoping it helps other people, but at the same time, it is definitely helping me keep afloat, because every day is different. You know, you'll have good days, you'll have bad days, you'll have doozies, real doozies, and they can be because of your health issues. They can be because of someone being a dumbass. You know, there's a lot of those out there. There's a lot. So I'm thinking of quite a few that I've met in recent years, but be nice, Ilya. But in the end, you gotta try your very best, dig really, really, really deep to keep going, to finish the day. Do anything you can to pick yourself up. Sometimes you're not going to have anybody around, depending on the situation where you are, you know, exactly, like at work or at home. There may not always be somebody around to support you, to give you encouragement, to give you a smile that you may need. So when you really dig deep, when you really try to get yourself out of that hole, you're basically saying to yourself, you know what, I'm worth it, and I deserve to be happy, and why not treat yourself to something, you know, whether it's to a book. You know, if you're on a budget, like I'm on a budget, then, you know, get a book from the library. You know, treat yourself to, like, you know, a day off if possible, and just sit there at home reading a good book. Sometimes for a lot of people, that's enough. You dive into another world, and when you open that book, it's a completely different world that your mind is embracing when you're reading a book. You know, it's wonderful, and I definitely and highly recommend that. It's such a beautiful escape, just like soap operas on TV are for many people. You know, I watched Days of Our Lives quite a lot when I was unemployed, and that was a huge escape. You know, I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe she took the baby. Oh my God, where's the baby going to end up now? Oh my God, she cheated on him. Holy cow. Stuff like that. You're gasping about somebody else's life that's fictitious, but it's a great distraction. And if you're consumed by the things that are going on in your life, the best way to motivate yourself is to take a break. And sometimes those are the best breaks to take because they clear your head a little bit. You know, if you go for a run or a swim, maybe you can go to the gym, whatever you can do to shut off that part of yourself that's just over analyzing absolutely everything that you're doing and that's going on around you. Do it. Believe me, do it, because I'm doing my best to do it and it feels good. And because of that, you know, I got some motivation this past weekend, and really big motivation, huge. You know, I was able to rearrange stuff. I threw a lot of neat things I didn't need out, and that feng shui, when you feng shui your place, you feng shui yourself. I mean, it feels really, really good. You know, you're getting rid of all the stuff that's not important, not necessary, and you feel like a weight's been lifted off of you. I mean, that's how I felt, you know, and considering how exhausted I was, I mean, I was exhausted and in a lot of pain because like I said, I've been down to one workout a week, so I can feel it. I felt, I pushed through. I pushed through it and it felt so good. Changing things in every little part of my life. It's starting, even if it's small, I'm starting to see a difference, you know, and it's only a matter of time before I end this year on the highest note ever, which I don't know what that will be, but I know it's going to be a lot better than where I am now, because this year is definitely going to end on a high note. So that's it for today. I hope this motivated you at least a little bit, and I hope you guys have a wonderful Tuesday. I'll talk to you later this week.